It calls itself the Bank of Credit and Commerce International, BCCI, founded in 1972 by Aga Hassan Abedi, marketed as a third world bank for a third world future. At its peak, it operates in dozens of countries, courts celebrities and intelligence agencies alike, and builds a structure so fragmented that no single regulator can see the whole animal. In July 1991, regulators in multiple countries seize and shut it in a coordinated stroke. The press gives it a nickname that sticks: the Bank of Crooks and Criminals International. Billions in deposits are trapped in the wreckage. Money laundering, black ops rumors, fake capital, secret ownership of an American bank through fronts. The file is so large it feels less like a fraud and more like a parallel financial system. Tonight, Season 2's mid-season monster. Not one man's coupons. A bank built to be unseeable until the world finally looked at once. Aga Hassan Abedi founds BCCI to serve clients and countries the old London and New York clubs underserve. That mission is partly sincere and partly perfect cover. Branches multiply. Affiliates multiply. Auditors are split across pieces so that no one firm signs for the empire whole. Capital is shuffled through Cayman mirrors. The structure is the scheme. If verification requires a center, build a maze instead. BCCI's customers and relationships become a who's who of the geopolitically useful, including in reporting and investigations, intelligence contacts, and covert payment channels that this series notes as documented allegations and findings without turning into a spy novel. The point for Paper Empire is simpler. A bank that thrives in gaps will eventually sell gap services to anyone who can pay. To crack the United States, BCCI needs a face Washington trusts. Through nominees and denials, it gains secret control connected to First American Bank shares, with legendary counsel Clark Clifford among the respectable names entangled in the politics of the entry. When the truth surfaces, the scandal is not only foreign fraud, it is the discovery that American banking respectability can be rented. By the late 80s, auditors and central bankers are circling a hole that keeps changing shape. Bad loans, unrecorded deposits, phony capital, customer funds used like a personal treasury. The Bank of England and other supervisors accumulate a dossier. The maze that protected BCCI becomes the maze that traps its depositors. On July 5, 1991, the padlock turns in multiple time zones. BCCI is seized and closed in a coordinated action that admits by its scale how long the world took to agree the animal was real. Estimates of the damage run into the billions. Depositors from Africa to Asia to Europe discover their bank was a hall of mirrors. Criminal cases and Senate investigations in the United States paint a picture of institutional crime. Money laundering as business model, not bug. Abedi's health declines. He dies in 1995 without the kind of tidy courtroom finale Americans prefer. Clifford's reputation never recovers. The nickname remains the epitaph. And every later offshore scandal owes BCCI a royalty. It proved that if you fragment oversight hard enough, you can build a paper empire the size of a country. If you have watched this series from the beginning, you can already name the ingredients without me. A source of trust that outruns scrutiny. A story too good to interrogate. A victim standing at a side door. A clock, hidden or denied. Season 2 keeps changing the costume. Computers, mutual funds, leases, tax shelters, carpet vans, thrifts, junk bonds, banks that answer to no single country. The wardrobe updates. The body underneath does not. That continuity is the whole point of telling these stories in order instead of as disconnected trivia for the algorithm. Isolated, each scandal looks like a freak accident, a bad apple, a unique loophole, a once-in-a-century machine. In a row, you see the factory. Equity funding's ghosts rhyme with OPM's leases. Kornfeld's Salesforce rhymes with Homestake's celebrity billboards. Minkow's guided tour rhymes with DeAngelis's pipes. Different decades. Same choreography. Once you can see the choreography, you can see the next performance forming while the crowd is still applauding. And the stakes are never only the famous names. For every chairman on a victim list, there are clerks, pensioners, dentists, teachers, and quiet professionals whose losses do not make the montage. paper empire exists to put those quieter wrecks on the same ledger as the headline fortunes. Because belief, when it breaks, does not check your net worth first, and the side door is usually built for the people the front door ignored. There is always a clock. Sometimes it is a maturity date on a coupon. Sometimes it is an auditor's appointment on a Tuesday. Sometimes it is a newspaper deadline, or a regulator's meeting that a senator asks to postpone. The schemer's job is to make you ignore the ticking, to wrap the countdown in patriotism or piety or sophistication. Your job, after this series, is to hear the ticking anyway, and to walk out while there is still a door. If you have watched this series from the beginning, you can already name the ingredients without me. A source of trust that outruns scrutiny. A story too good to interrogate. A victim standing at a side door. A clock, hidden or denied. Season 2 keeps changing the costume. Computers, mutual funds, leases, tax shelters, carpet vans, thrifts, junk bonds, banks that answer to no single country. The wardrobe updates. The body underneath does not. That continuity is the whole point of telling these stories in order instead of as disconnected trivia for the algorithm. Isolated, each scandal looks like a freak accident, a bad apple, a unique loophole, a once-in-a-century machine. In a row, you see the factory. Equity funding's ghosts rhyme with OPM's leases. Kornfeld's Salesforce rhymes with Homestake's celebrity billboards. Minkow's guided tour rhymes with DeAngelis's pipes. Different decades. Same choreography. Once you can see the choreography, you can see the next performance forming while the crowd is still applauding. The playbook. What BCCI adds to the manual. Rule 1. If no regulator owns the whole picture, the picture can be a lie. Rule 2. Respectability is a product you can purchase. Lawyers, boards, and brand names included. Rule 3. A bank that specializes in gaps will eventually become a gap. And everyone who trusted it will fall in. The paper empire ledger closes this batch with BCCI, billions in global wreckage, and a warning that still hums in today's shell networks. The most dangerous letterhead is the one that seems international enough to be everyone's problem, and therefore no one's. Because money was never paper. It's belief, wearing paper's clothes, and BCCI tailored the clothes to fit every flag at once. Season 2 continues. The gallery is still not full. Barings and Nick Leeson, Sumitomo's Copper King, Long-Term Capital, Enron, and the rest of the modern machine are waiting. Subscribe, and we will keep laying the pattern where you can see it.